Uh, Welcome, all my artist friends. I've got the best live for you today because I've got great news as far as what it takes to get started with your art business. That's one of the things that just thinking about doing an art as business can be daunting. I've been there. Um, so I'm going to just kind of go over just the very basics that you need. And before you start taking large steps to get on, even get your own website and all that stuff, I'm going to get you started with how to go about getting started. And basically, you just need to find out whether or not you have an audience. The first thing you have to have before you get started with a business is know that you have an audience. Especially with stuff with your visual arts. So, how do you find out whether or not you have an audience? Is the best way, cheapest way, is to go out on social media and find out what kind of responses you're getting on social media. I know that when I post my own work on Facebook, I don't get a lot of responses. So how do you determine whether or not you have a good audience? Well, maybe Facebook isn't the best place for my work. So you can explore other avenues such as Instagram. Instagram is really big right now, and it's just logical that that's a great place for an artist to get started because it's all visual. And the thing is, you don't necessarily need a you don't necessarily need a website because you can't even link to a website until you get to a certain number of followers. So you want to concentrate first on growing your audience, the people that are going to appreciate the work that you do. And then once you do that, you can kind of get an idea of the kind of people that would be interested in your artwork. And so then you can create a persona, a customer persona of who would want to buy your work. And the other thing is you can get feedback on, now let's say you're not real sure what your voice is, and you can actually like just start throwing stuff up against the wall, the stuff that you like to do, and just find out whether or not you can find an audience for it. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I see an awful lot of art on all sorts of levels, and I yet have to see any artwork that is not marketable. That's the good news. That's the excellent news. Every piece of artwork, every artist, there is a market out there for you. It's your job to go out and find it. And that's one of the problems with, I've taught visual arts business basics. And one of the problems is that there's no set path to find your audience. There's no set path on finding exactly what's going to work for you and the people who love what you do. So there's an awful lot of experimenting going on. And before you go out and spend a bunch of money on a website and all the other things that people tell you need to do, there's just some basic things you need to, get on Etsy and spend an awful lot of time trying to make everything just perfect. And you need to first find out what you're doing, what you love to do that is marketable. And then you can create your customer persona. And you also need, before maybe you get started doing that, when you get an idea of what you want to do, make sure you have a PayPal account. Because you can always post that you have, prints for sale or this piece for sale, and then you want to get the money before you send it to them, right? So you want to have your PayPal account ready, so you can say, blah blah blah, PayPal me, okay? So they can order your piece, whether it's a print or your original work. And you also want to make sure that while you're doing all this, that you're loving the pieces that you're actually putting out there. You don't want to get stuck in a situation where, oh, I just kind of threw this out there and now everybody likes it, and I really don't particularly like doing it. That's not going to keep you motivated. You also don't want to necessarily follow trends. Trends might get you some audience, but if you don't love what you're doing within that trend, then you're not going to be able to sustain that. Also, the problem with trends is they come and they go. So you want to find some kind of voice so you can build an audience around it that is particularly you. And see, the good news is, going back to what I just said, is that I haven't seen a piece of artwork that has come through Art Print Express in the 8 years that I've been doing this that couldn't find a market if the artist was willing to find it. So the other thing is, the easiest and cheapest way to scale your work. To scale your work is to be able to make prints available, because your originals should have some value in them that's higher than the cost of a print. But you want to be able to hit various market points that, a person can buy a $30 print from you rather than, a 500, 600 plus piece from you. You're kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face, because those people who buy your prints will eventually want to buy the originals as their life changes and they grow. And if you're growing with them, we're talking about making friends of your patrons. These people will be important to you and your livelihood if you go forward. So those are some points. Oh, there was something I was missing there. Oh, getting great photographs of your work. That's also extremely important, because you're going to be putting them out there on something visual. So here's a few points. You can take your great photographs of your artwork with your cell phone. And the really important part of that is getting some daylight bulbs. They can be found in any hardware store, almost anywhere you can buy light bulbs. You don't want the soft white. You don't want the stuff that you normally put in your house. You want the daylight bulbs is what they're called. They have kind of a blue cast, and those will give you the best photographs. And when you photograph, you don't want other lights, other soft lights in your room. You want just the daylight bulbs shining on your artwork. And then you position them so that they're not creating reflections and glares on it. And then you can take a great photograph of your artwork. The other really, really cheap way to do it is to take it outside on a sunny day and photograph it. And also, you want to use a tripod or something that you can use a timer on your phone. That way you don't get any shake. But outside of all of that, you need a great photograph. You need to get on a social network that inspires you to be on it, and also where you can find your audience, and concentrate on trying to find that audience. And then when they start asking about prints or buying the original, having a PayPal account. That's how simple it is. And then remember, experimenting. I've got several artist friends who they like to do all sorts of stuff. Some of them like to do pour painting. Some people like to do really detailed portraits, like pet portraits. I think that'll last forever. Some of them like doing landscapes. And there's a market for all of those things. The thing is, it's up to you to get that for yourself. Find that audience. Because really, it used to be, You had to go through galleries, and the artist was kind of faceless until you got to a certain stature. Now, not anymore. People want to buy artwork from artists that they know. So that's the thing. You have to create relationships with the people who are going to buy your artwork. That's the new thing in the last 7 to 10 years or so, since Facebook pretty much started. It became, people started realizing that they could have a relationship with artists. Hi, Janlyn. How do you find your audience? Okay, that's a great question. So basically, what you want to do, the cheapest and easiest way to do it, because you're going to reach the entire world possibility, is finding yourself a social network you're comfortable with. If that's Facebook, if it's Instagram, there's other alternative ones out there now that are popping up because of the actions of Facebook. And you want to post your stuff on there and start looking at, you want to be social on the social networks. So you go out and you friend other people and they start liking your work. But what you're doing there isn't just creating relationships, but you're also experimenting on what the world is going to like, what people are going to like about your work. And then you're going to find out if you have an audience, but don't give up too early. You don't just throw one out there and say, no one liked it. You don't do that. You just keep going and going and going. So you want to experiment with, if you have one thing that you absolutely love to do, like I love to do self-portraits. Okay, so who wants to buy a portrait of me, right? Well, the portrait says more than just about me, right? So I want to find people who resonate with the messages and the things that I'm saying with my work. And of course, like on Instagram, if you have the right tags to find those people that you think would be most interested in your work. So, and there's the big place you might on Instagram want to do most of your experimenting with, is the tags that you put on your work. And really, it's just keep pushing it out there and looking to see if you can't find your audience. So you want to have more than one piece ready to go. So you want to spend a little bit of time maybe making sure that you have an inventory. And then what you're going to find out is when you start getting an audience and they start asking for things, they will ask for prints. And see, and you might be wondering why I'm doing this. I'm going to actually just start doing some how to get yourself marketed out there, because I want you to trust me to get your prints. And it's so if you like what I'm talking about, you can support me by buying your prints through Art Brand Express. And it's important that the other thing I want to let you know too is your work is important. I haven't seen a piece that's come through here that didn't have a message that was important for the world to see. So that's the other thing. I noticed that a lot of my artist friends are reluctant to put their work out. They're unsure about like this whole list of fear, right? Well, we got to let go of the fear and move forward with just putting it out there. And social networks can be brutal, and that's okay. You don't have to pay attention. You don't have to respond. But I would think that most artists who are going to do anything that would garner something that was negative was looking to get something negative anyway. So you just be prepared for that. Be prepared for the consequences of what you put out there. But, like 99% of the stuff that comes through here are just beautiful pieces of work. So everything, and even those pieces that are maybe controversial, there's an audience for it. So it's just a matter of finding that audience, finding the people out there that resonate with you and your soul. Oh, are tags more important on Instagram? They're more important on Instagram, but I would also do it on Facebook. Tags in general are just important because you can type into Google a tag and your post can come up. So that would be tags just in general are important. And then I would experiment with the tags. Make sure that you're reaching those people who would resonate with the work that you're doing. The other thing is to follow people that do similar work than you. And so if you do religious art, follow those people that are doing religious art. Look at the tags that they're using. Look at the people that are just doing some research on who is it or what kind of persona is buying your kind of work. And I guarantee, and it's not about competition in the art world is its own animal. Okay, somebody who likes my work will also like somebody else's work and will buy them equally. It's like and the thing is, just because they bought a piece today doesn't mean they won't buy a piece tomorrow. It's kind of like and it is a luxury type of opportunity of buying, but because it's something that it is something they want. And it's really no different than like a piece of jewelry. People don't need jewelry, but they buy it anyway because it makes them feel good. That's what art is. Art's the same thing. They want their space to reflect themselves, and they want them so they resonate with you. Your piece goes up on their wall. And of course, you want to also, look at various ways to make sure that you have plenty of work available. And one of those ways is to do prints. If you've got a great image of your piece, you can order prints. And, the cheapest way to do that is you post it, you tell them prints are available, what size and price. And on that, keep it small. Make sure the choices aren't too big because too many, you don't want to give them 20 options. Give them one or two, maybe one to begin with. And then once they send you the PayPal money, you can get on Art Print Express and order the print, and you can even tell me where to ship it. So this is pretty much hands off for you. And you've got the profit right in your hand to begin with before the print even exists. You can't find a lower overhead business anywhere. There might be one or two, but they might not be. That would be, let's see, doing some manual labor of some sort. That would probably be lower overhead. But your art, you don't necessarily love that, do you? You love doing the artwork. So don't give up. That's the most important thing out of all of this stuff. Once you start going out there and putting yourself out, don't give up. Just keep putting it out there. Keep experimenting with your tags. Keep experimenting with whatever media is available for you to do out there. And then there's all sorts of opportunities within all of those things too. Like right now, I am doing Facebook Live. I am doing YouTube Live and Periscope all at the same time. And then I've got this thing called Live Leap that it puts me over on my Facebook. It sends me to two of my pages, which is Art Print Express and then my personal site, personal page, personal art page. So there you go. I mean, the thing is, you don't have to do all this right off the bat. You simply start off simple. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't be full of fear. People out there will find you and love you, but you also have to help them find you. So, and there's no one answer to any of these paths. And I have seen the difference between an artist who is successful online and an artist who's not successful online is the difference between how much they're willing to put out into the world, how much marketing they're going to be doing. And marketing sounds scary and icky, okay? But just be personable. Just be yourself. That's marketing. It's called authenticity. And that's all you have to do. Just get it out there. Experiment with different things. Experiment with, maybe you do a whole bunch of itty bitty pieces. And you start off with the first one's $5 today. And then tomorrow, the next one, same size, is going to be $6. And then $7 and $8 and $9 as you go forward. And then never forget to ask for the sale. Don't be afraid to ask for the sale. Don't just put it out there, oh, here's my pretty piece, and then leave it there. You gotta tell them, you have to tell them that you are selling. Otherwise, they'll just assume that you're painting those and sticking them in your closet somewhere. It's not for them to buy. Ask for what you want, which is you want them to buy it. And that's not being salesy. And there's nothing wrong with that. So let's run down the topics today. So first of all, you need to be on a social network of some sort. This is the low-end basics. You need to be on a social network of some sort that you're comfortable with. You need to have a great photograph of your work. And you can do that even with your cell phone. You need to be personable and ask for the sale anyway. Make it clear. Make sure you have a PayPal account. And be willing to experiment with what it is that you're doing to reach your audience. And the whole goal of all that is to reach your audience, grow your audience. And then at some point you can, move to the next level, which might be doing a Patreon account, doing a website, all sorts of things. And when you're growing your audience, they're your friends. They're your patrons. You have a relationship with them. Just like I have a relationship with the artists that work with me. And so I just want to put this out there. So if you liked what you saw today, please share this with somebody who you might think would enjoy it and find some inspiration. And if you want to support me, just buy some prints from our Print Express. That's it. And that's a win-win. You have a print that you can sell. Or you go out there and sell prints and then order them from me. Win-win. Anyway, okay. Well, that's it for today. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. And Janlyn had some questions. I don't know who else is on. When I'm doing the multi-cast, I can't tell who all's on. But I appreciate it. And everybody, you guys have a great weekend. And sit down and consider what you might want to put out there and make things happen for yourself, because there's nothing more rewarding than when someone buys your work. It's like a validation. And, that's why we create, right? To send out our personal message. Things that are vision, things that we see. So I will continue to do these lives. I've been a little crazy around here, but we're gonna see that we get you going, because the more you do, and the more it put me into your life as a provider for you, I can help make your life a little easier as an artist. All right, well, see you later.